Oh, hell yeah.
Not a whole lot of rage. It's way too hot for this jacket.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of that Cybert channel. I'm Dan Cybert and my streets have absolutely no rage on them. I'm kind of disappointed. It's official. After 24 years, oh my god. After 24 years of lying dormant, Streets of Rage 4 has finally graced us with his presence. Now, the original was our go-to beat-em-up game back in the day, but that's not what has me excited about this one. What really has me excited is the fact that LizardQ and .emu, or EMU, I don't know if that's right, are the team behind the return of Streets of Rage. This is the team responsible for bringing back one of my favorite games of all time, back in beautiful hand-drawn animation, Wonder Boy, a new studio of fans of the original game that wanted to bring it back to life. That got me thinking, Sega is smart. Between Streets of Rage and Sonic Mania, Sega has been giving the reins of their franchises to fans, and it has been going insanely well. So today, I wanted to talk about how Sega's new strategy has been freaking killing it, and how other franchises could benefit from this strategy. Imagine your favorite franchise. Now come up with 3 things you think would improve it. Go ahead, head on down to the comments and list them out right now. I'll wait. Then maybe while you're down there, maybe hit the subscribe button if you're new. No pressure, but you know, do it. I imagine that list was actually pretty easy to write. Now keep that list next to you because we'll need it later. For me, the list was for Wonder Boy, specifically Wonder Boy 3 and the Dragon's Trap. I wanted it so bad to be in HD, and in 2017, I finally got my wish. Not only that, it basically checkmarked everything I had on my list and more. Now with Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, even more of my list has been checked off. 2017 saw some of the greatest comebacks of old franchises. Wonder Boy, Sonic and Classic 2D, Crash Bandicoot, frickin' Bubsy, I guess. But what strikes me most is Sonic Mania and Wonder Boy. These two games first saw their home console debuts on a Sega console, and both made by developers that were big fans of the original works. LizardQ would come from a group of industry professionals passionate about one of their favorite games. Sonic Mania would come from a group of fan game developers equally passionate for the Blue Blur himself, and not in that sort of Sonic Dream Collection way. Each had their own paths that led them to acquiring the rights and blessings to create their games. Nevertheless, it was a team of fans that wanted to do right by their source material. Now, with the release of Sonic Mania Plus and the announcement of Streets of Rage 4, it seems like these teams are solidifying themselves in the gaming industry. And Sega is just reaping the sweet, sweet benefits. Sega's always kind of been the troubled child of the gaming industry. From dropping out of the console race to 3D Sonic's constantly being a mess, Sega has always kind of been, oh buddy, at least you tried. That is until recently with Sonic Mania putting the Speedy Hedgehog back into the spotlight and the Wonder Boy HD Remake showing how great a cult classic was. Sega has stumbled upon a diamond in the rough, and it was the fans. No, not like this. Still no! So how did this even work? I mean, Wonder Boy makes sense because you had people who worked in the industry on the project. Sonic Mania, though, was a bunch of guys who made Sonic mods and fan games. Now, I want you to grab that list from earlier. What you have right there is the exact reason why this whole thing worked. Major game developers make a variety of different games. Even Sonic Team doesn't exclusively make Sonic games, or else we'd finally have a good 3D Sonic. Oh, don't hate me. Their attention is spread on different projects, new IPs, or even their own pet projects. We the fans, we obsess over the franchises. We pick our favorite games apart. We learn how to break the engines. We make YouTube channels and start forcing our friends to watch videos on them. At least that's what I did. For the few that want to act on that passion, they get creating. They start making mods and fan games. Until now, these fan developers either focus on their fan game community or they build their own IPs like Toby Fox with Undertale. Some even build games like A Hat in Time that celebrate the collectathon genre with a GameCube aesthetic. They build new IPs with homages to the games they loved. Sega saw this potential with Christian Whitehead. After seeing his work in the Sonic fan game community, Sega brought him on to help with the ports of previous Sonic games. This opened the door for him to pitch Sonic Discovery, now known as Sonic Mania, to Sega directly. Sega loved the idea, and rather than funneling the game into their own development team, Sega gave control over to Whitehead and his team. I mean, Sonic Team still had an eye on them to make sure they were on track. Remember, Sonic is always watching. Always. Sega took a chance and banked on his reputation in the fan game community. It gave Christian and his team control in building the Sonic game they wanted. This led to one of the cleanest and, in my opinion, best Sonic games in the series. Lizard Cube's story is slightly different, but the roots were the same. Fans of a beloved game wanting to use their skills to enhance it. They too sought out the blessing of the original creator, Riichi Nishizawa, I hope to God I said right, and Sega. They even went through the tedious process to make sure the game played exactly like it did on the Master System. It's that combination of skill, passion, and a critical eye on the franchise that Sega bet on, and it paid off. Now, hopefully some of you are looking at that list you just made and are possibly thinking, hey, I might actually be able to do something with this. And you absolutely should. If Streets of Rage 4 does as well as I'm predicting it will, this will set a new precedent for the future of our favorite franchises. When it comes down to it, more developers and publishers should be putting their faith in fan developers. I doubt anyone will be able to touch something like Mario or Zelda, but there are a ton of franchises that could use some love. Dozens of fan favorite franchises have either been forgotten or destroyed because of one bad game. Fan developers could help revive those franchises. And publishers, you can stand to make some money if you know what I'm saying. I only bring this up because maybe we can actually get a new F-Zero game or something. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. Now, we did just see the revival of Crash Bandicoot with the Insane trilogy, but as of right now, who knows if we'll ever see the franchise fully be revived. And I think the same goes for Spyro. These remakes are nice, but it's not a promise of new games. Taking these franchises and giving them to fans can revitalize them in ways the developers might not even be thinking of. I've experienced this firsthand sorting through the FNAF fan game pile on GameJolt. Yet I think here is where you see the best example of fan games surpassing their original material. FNAF as a game is alright. Sure, groundbreaking in ways of lore, but quickly became more of a rage game than a horror game. But I've played dozens of fan games that are easily much better than the core franchise. I know fan games on YouTube are mostly treated like memes. Hell, I'm even guilty of it here on this channel. A lot of them can be pretty weird and it makes for some fun content. Like, dude, it's Doom, but you're a Revenant with a horn. Definitely more on that later. But when you find a great fan game, you need to pay attention to those developers. The right fans with the right resources can make a game that will breathe a new life into the franchise. We see that with Sonic Mania. We see that with Wonder Boy, and I no doubt believe we'll see that with Streets of Rage 4. Lizard Cube, please make this good. The industry has a lot to learn from Sega. Tapping into the fan game community will play a key part in the future of gaming. Throwing it out there, Nintendo, in case you might be thinking about a new F-Zero game. You know, maybe scrap the whole Star Fox Grand Prix thing and shift. Just shift. Pivot. But now I want to make sure that you guys take that list from earlier and put it in the comments down below. A special thanks to Elizabeth Mello and all my Patreon patrons. You can join the Cybert Elite by heading over to my Patreon. It's either in the end card, iCard, or down in the description. I'm working on some new rewards and they're going to be rolling out soon, so now is a great time to join and help support the channel. If you can't or don't want to do the Patreon, that is totally fine. You can still become a Cybernaut today by clicking that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the bell, hit the like button, and until next time, Cybert out.